All right, let's try this again, see if it works a little better. I had to reboot. The camera wouldn't keep up. I'm not sure it's going to. If it doesn't, we'll have to forego this and do a recording or whatever. It doesn't look like it's in much better shape, but we'll give it a try. No, for some reason my camera is just not working. I think it might be that cable. Let's, I can't do that. I don't know what the problem is. My camera equipment is getting so bad that it just won't work. That's why I have the thing out for camera equipment. Well, let's see if we can shut the bandwidth down maybe some. I don't know. Bandwidth. Okay, maybe that'll do it. We'll try it. It's a little fuzzy, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's a little fuzzy. Yeah, that's better. Okay, let's go up one in bandwidth. I guess my bandwidth is down. Got 2 viewers. Let's see what we can do here. All right, that's a little better. Hopefully the picture will move with me. Nope. I don't know what the problem is. I'm going to have to call the cable company. Anyway, I'll turn it down so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll try that. Medium, low. Kind of crappy. It's probably that cable that I'm using, but there's no other way to do it. Yeah, okay, here we go. Anyway, how I build a cowl the easy way is that I need to make it fit this perimeter right here. So I try to keep this parallel with the bottom of the 4-inch sheet. And then we're going to cut 2 sides. So we'll just trace out 2 sides on this. This is so simple. I need to lower it down a little bit. Sorry I haven't been doing more of the how-to videos, but been kind of busy. All right. So this is our side here. And of course, we'll draw the rough shape in it. I can't believe this air conditioner is not running. I always cut with a square, sand with a square, whatever, you know, whatever. We want to keep everything as square as possible. If I had a miter box, I would use a miter box. If you like the live action videos, my camera is broken. I put a link, fan funding for videos on Stunt Hangar. I'm trying to replace my camera with a decent camera. Any help would be appreciative. So here we have the basic cowl outline. And we'll just whip it out real quick. See if I got another straight edge. I thought I did. Nope. Have to use this. One of the guys wants me to make a video on how to make rib templates and how to cut ribs out and slots. I'm going to do that as soon as I get another camera. We're going to do this one a little different too. I normally been putting the 1/64th on after sanding it, but I think I'm going to do it first this time. Now this cut here is a little more difficult because it's cross grain, but this is a scalpel, pretty sharp. You can't push very hard on these blades. You have to make it in a few passes. But that's close enough. I'll see how it fits. Okay, it's perfect. It's about an 1/8 inch too long. So better too long than too short. Can always got plenty of wood taken off tools, but not many wood putting back on tools besides glue, and you don't want to do that. Make everything heavy. I can't see anybody who types in the chat. So if you're typing at me, I can't see it. That's the difference between some of the channels that, I mean, they're not doing anything. They're just talking, or I'm actually doing something. Make it fit pretty good. We got a little bit of trimming up here on this, on the nose. We're gonna have to take an 1/8 off of that because there's a plywood block, a plywood ring, nose ring that goes on. How I mount my cowls is I use one dowel in the nose ring, and then 2 screws or 1 screw in the back. In the instance of a piped airplane, you have to use 2 screws, but on a mufflered airplane where there's nothing back there, you can use 1 screw in the center. Now, if you remember, I had landing gear on this, and I had it set up for landing gear. Well, I've changed direction. We're going to put a pipe in it. So I need to take a little bit more off of this. Didn't quite get that line straight. Okay, I'll show you this here if you'll look. Yeah, it's pretty close. Need to trim a little bit there because I got, yeah, what happened here? Trim some more. Remember on my tagline, finish starts with the first piece of wood cut. Pretty important to make the fit tight. So, you know, we're not in a big race to get this done. And I always say that the nose is the focal part of the airplane, so you want to make sure that you get it right. So if I screw this up, we'll make another one. Because it has to be perfect. Why are we having an issue here? Having an issue because I'm showing somebody how to do it. Because I normally don't have any issues doing this. Come on. Okay. I've got the angles correct. I got a little bit of space there. So now we need to make one for the other side. Let's see if it fits on the other side. Pretty close, so we'll just transfer this to the other piece and trim from there. I'm using 3/8 sides. I don't know about the weather in your area, but it's been raining here ever since I come back from the Nats. Storming, terrible. Save this piece for later. I always like to make my cowls a little bit wider than the fuselage and sand them flush, because that gives you more room for shape. Because I don't build from plans, I noticed that this airplane is going to look different than my other one. The cowl is much, or the cockpit is much further back. The back of the beginning of the cockpit is at the trailing edge of the wing, where the other one is up about 2 inches from the trailing edge. It won't have any effect on flight. It will definitely look like a different airplane, different model. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to change. Oh, there goes that broke razor blade. Hopefully I don't step on it. Oh crap, well there it is. Pick it up right away so I don't cut my foot off barefoot. Let's see if I can find another blade. We got number 11s. No, we don't need it anyway. Got it cut. It doesn't fit perfect. Why? So we have to go through that rigmarole again, like sanding, cutting, and fitting. So I have to cut a little bit off of that. Huh. Got worse. What the heck? Oh, I see what it is. Well, it got worse. Or did it? I guess we can cut that off and look. Cut that off. It's going to have to be sanded on the front anyway for the nose ring doubler. Oh, I know why. This side is shorter because of the motor offset. No good. What the heck? Okay. I don't know how many people are watching. You guys are welcome to come in and join. That's better. That's better. Okay, we have a right and a left. Then we're going to need a center. That's good. Okay, right. So mark it inside, inboard, inboard. So now we have to cut the basic shape into it, and how we want it to look. And I'm going to hold it up to my other airplane to see how close it is. Oh, man. It'll be fine when I do that line. We'll leave it 3/16 of an inch large. Because I can always sand it off. It will probably end up coming way back here like this, but I gotta leave enough. Oh, this will be the other side. What the heck? Yeah, it'll be fine. Okay. Always a hassle. So we'll go inboard, inboard. I like to do everything in basic pieces. You know, it's piecework where I build one piece, set it aside, build another piece, set it aside, take out all the components, and then assemble them. This is a hard piece of lumber here. All right. So we got the two sides of the cowl. So we're going to take a measurement here, leaving this hang over about 1/8 of an inch. We need a block of wood. And looks to be 2 1/8 wide. 2 1/8. Just so happens that I have some unobtainium 4-pound wood here. Let's dress off the end of that. Which is not necessary because it's going to be hollowed and have 64th ply put on it, but the bonds are better when it's smooth and less porous. Two and 1/8 by that long. We'll cut off this side here. So double check it. Yep, 2 1/8. Should be nice if I was home when I had my skill saw or my table saw for balsa wood. But I'm stuck here. But it shows you that you can build an airplane in the motel room. So, got that. See if I can find right there's my other blade. I don't know. This is the old one. There it is. Measure again. Two and 1/8. I'm going to cut it a little on the large side so we can sand it because, like I said, I don't have a table saw here. Try to hold the knife perpendicular to the table. Cutting through 1 1/4 inch balsa wood, so I'm just going to take a few cuts. Trying not to cut my fingers off. I can remember one time building for the camera, doing this same operation, having my finger sit out here, and I slit right along it and cut the end of my finger off. I watched it happen like an idiot. Oh, pretty hard at that end. Oh, come on. Real hard at this end. Fortunately, we'll be cutting that end off. Got it. A little crooked. And really whipped into that. Huh. Really had a bow in that. So in order to fix that, got a bow where the hard spot got a hold of it. So I'm going to glue it back on and cut it from this side. Not a problem. Good on one side, but not on the other. Okay, so I ended up with a hoop in it. And I'm not even sure it would matter, but it would be nice to have a nice straight piece to work with. Oh, God, it's a hard spot. Oh. Okay, we'll just sand it straight and be done with it. It won't matter. There we go. Much better. Okay. And we'll lop this off there. I'm sure you guys are probably getting pretty bored by now. We do have 7 watchers, but nobody coming in to talk to me. I know I'm getting bored, so it'd be nice if somebody came in. Let me check the chat and see if somebody's posted something. Oh man, too much hassle. Okay. And too much hassle. There we go. What plane is this? Does anyone know? This is my design, Bob. And same airplane that I flew at the Nats. It's kind of a knockoff of Bill Werwage design. I always liked his flair for things. I can see the chat now. If you guys want to type in there, things that nobody's talking to me. Yeah, it's a perfect. Almost. Okay. That's how that goes. We need to cut the end of it off, but I want to square it up on this end here first. So once again, take your square and I sand with it, cut with it. It's nice to start out with straight cuts. A little bit here. Hope I can remember to get some baking soda next time I go shopping. Shoot. Okay, that's tight. And I do, I build by the TLAR method. I noticed somebody mentioned they must be a car builder or whatever. They mentioned that the TLAR method works. It works very well. If it looks right, it will be right. Want this cowl to be 1/2 to 3/4 of an ounce when finished. So you got to trim away everything that doesn't look like a cowl. After you get the blocks built. Now, in the old days, we used to just take one solid block and carve them, but this has been a whole lot easier way to go. Need a wood saw for this. There we go. All right, now 2 pieces together. I hope everybody could get the drift of what I got going on here. It's not that difficult. Now, fitting this up, the end of our video for today is going to be me gluing this and clamping it because I don't have any this CA is so old it won't stick, so I have to use white glue, and we're not going to sit around and watch white glue dry. But I should have cut this a little shorter, about 1 inch shorter. I just didn't have anything to do tonight. Figured I'd do a little building. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's inboard. That's inboard. Okay, so that's the angle there. Now you can do this a couple of different ways, but I try to use the least amount of wood that I can get away with. Good wood, 4-pound wood is so hard to come by. I happened to go through everything at Brodax and found this. I will show the shaping of it tomorrow, but for tonight we'll just do the build up for the block. Now, I don't know how many of you guys, they don't teach this anymore in school, but when I was in school, I had wood shop, and we used to laminate different types of wood together, oak, cherry, maple, and turn them on a lathe, make a bowl, and we're going to have a little gap there we're going to have to fill up with another piece of wood, which is not a big deal. It's a shame they don't teach shop class in school anymore. Why is that an angle? That's the angle of the dangle going on there. Okay, so we got this and this. Still not flat. Driving me crazy. I don't have my belt sander here. There we go. Hand belt sander. Got to make sure all them joints are tight. Yep, good. Got everything big. You can always sand it, but you can't add it back on. So okay, we just need it close. We don't need it perfect. After it's all glued together, we'll spend the time to shape it correctly. I'll check the chat here in a second. See if anybody wrote me anything. I can't. Hard for me to see behind my back to answer questions. Ah, oh well, at least I didn't hit the line. No questions. That's good. All right, we have 5 cases for a cowl. Well, 6 including the nose ring, but we want it this way. And this way. We're gonna have to add a little bit to that. That should work though. I need to add a piece. For some reason it didn't quite get thick enough on this one. So my crappy CA that doesn't work. That must be several years old, that CA, because it nope, no sticky poo. But this here. I have any of this left. I should have went and got some today. Yeah, we got a little bit there. Okay, I'm out of CA. And for anybody who didn't see what I just did there, is I had to add a little thickness to this block because for some reason it wasn't quite wide enough. But after I white glue all this together, or tight bond it together, it'll be fine. God, everything is such shit today. My bottles don't work. Can't rely on nothing. Okay. Nope, no answer. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share videos on my channel. It helps the channel, helps us grow. We're up to 1,800 subscribers on the video side. If I could get 10,000, which is not ever going to happen, the next feature opens up. That hard spot there might create a problem in sanding when I shape it, but I'll have to see. Okay, now it's sticking up above that, which is fine. I can sand it down to the right size. So what I have some spring clamps. These really come in handy. These are Craftsman, I don't know what you'd call them, but Yeah, almost. That's where I cut that block on the end at an angle. That's where I had to fill here. That's the nice thing about wood. It's especially balsa wood. It's so easy to work with. Too big, just cut a little off. Too small, just add a piece. Okay. Yep. Now, if I had CA, I could just hold this together like this and shoot CA down it. But I don't. I don't have any CA that's worth a darn, so I'm going to hold this together. Mark it. Put some white glue on it. Clamp it and let it sit. That should give you the pretty basic idea how I form a cowl. And then tomorrow, when all the glue is dry, we'll stand it up and make it look like what it's supposed to. Oh, I got them on backwards. This one goes on this side, this one goes on this side. Oh, it's not going to go down because of that. That's going to have to go in last. Okay, let's start gluing it together. This is alphatic glue. Same thing we used to glue the, well, actually we used white glue in school. I don't even think they had that. I was talking today at work about 4-track tapes. How many guys remember 4 tracks? That's before an 8-track. The reason why we were talking about it, Black Sabbath came on, and I had that tape on a 4-track in 1970, and I think that probably was the end of the 4-tracks because right after that the 8-tracks came out. Inboard. Uh, I had a buddy who had a brand new 1969 440 Roadrunner. Bright orange. Boy, that car was bad. Now, this block will probably be around 5 or 6 ounces, but believe it or not, we're going to get it down to a half an ounce, 3/4 to a half of an ounce by cutting everything away. It will be 3/32 of an inch, or maybe an 1/8 inch thick all the way. But make sure you get the glue spread out even, because nothing more frustrating than to have a void. Okay. So I got my 2 clamps ready. Now, you can't just glue it like this and say, well, it's going to fit. You got to put it up there on it. Let me get my foam block, my workstation. Got a nice piece of 4-pound wood for wing tip filler stuff. Let's see here. Got another clamp in here. Yep. We got another one. I think I got more than that around here. Oops. This is the second cowl I made for this, and the second bottom piece I made for this, because I had fuselage mounted landing gear, if you guys remember, and I took it out and I decided, well, we'll just piece in a piece. It looked pretty crappy, so instead of scabbing it on, I made a new bottom molded block. So we got another one. I guess I should have turned it the other way. Got even weight. Okay, so and if any of you guys got an easier way to do this, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to entertain all ideas. So there we have why is that like that, I wonder? That's down, right? It moved, that's why. I guess it don't matter. It don't matter. So now, put this block in. I'm sorry there's no dancing girls, no conversation, no music. There's some guy talking and gluing shit together. Okay. Yeah, what a mess. Now, if I was at home, I got a big woodworking vise on the end of my bench. I would clamp this in there. That's what this will have to do. Let's see if we got any more clamps. I do. I do. Okay. So now what we have here is our solid block that's half carved out, if that makes any sense. You could do this with a solid block, but a solid block of this size is hard to find of any good weight. And this is probably stronger. Wish there was some way to check that, but there ain't. There we go. All right, that is the cowl, the rough cowl. And tomorrow, when I come back, we will finish it out. But that's basically how I have always built these cowls, and they've come out fairly well. The best cowl builder is Ted Fancher. Yeah, I mean, there ain't nobody can beat him. Let's make sure this fits. Oh, it won't fit because of that. Well, I'm just going to have to trust my instinct, I guess. I think it'll be all right. If not, I'll build another one. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy my tips and tricks or whatever. I hope they help you be a better builder. I'm not saying that I'm the best, but I mean, I can carry my own. Finally did make top 20 this year after all that. With no practice, I had 13 flights for the year. We've just had such crappy weather. It seems like every year at the Nationals, that's basically our first contest besides Brodak. And, I go there, I'm totally unprepared. Equipment's usually untested. This year, this airplane is the second year for it. I didn't make any stupid trim adjustments at the Nats. Every year that I've been going, I've had help. Just trim adjustments, hard point handles, tape the hinges, add tail weight, okay. So I just flew it as is. It didn't do too bad, I guess. Had a kind of a rough first day, but finally managed to put a couple of decent flights together on the second day, and at least made it in the top 20. And that's 6 flights that you got to do at least. It's tough. So anybody that doesn't think, I give them guys up in the top 5 a lot of credit. That's hard work. So I appreciate you watching, and check back tomorrow for the finish of the cowl, and I'll show you how I mount it and everything. So till I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.